I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and this is the final match of the group stage of the 2023 World Cup of Carcassonne. We are about to witness the decisive events in Group B. So here's what's happened. Earlier today, China defeated Catalonia, so China is indisputably the leader in this group. Spain can almost catch up, so they're playing just for the prestige. Or actually, wait a second. No. China has also something to play for. No. Even if Spain wins, then they will be a little bit behind. They will be still in second place. But the main thing about this match is that Team Ukraine, they have all the motivation in the world, because earlier Latvia lost 0-5 to Poland, thus not increasing their number of wins and worsening the tiebreaker. So now Ukraine has a shot at defeating Spain and getting third place in the group. And of course, I hope that this doesn't happen, because as many of you know, I'm the captain of Team Latvia, so this stream ain't gonna be impartial at all. I'm obviously will be rooting for Spain. But the thing, because Latvia's tiebreakers were so far ahead of Ukraine's, Ukraine needs not just any win. They need to win 4-1 or better. So 4-1 or 5-0. So they can win as long as 3-2 and nothing better. Now, this stats certainly will make Latvian sweats a little bit. Where's my World Cup calculator? Nope. It's the wrong one. Okay, just a second. Huh, interesting. Oh, where did my stuff go? Okay. Ah, there we go. So this is the ELO calculator, like just according to the ELO ratings of the players only, nothing else. It doesn't take tournament history into account. Spain has a 21-22% of winning this match, or a 55% of winning this match or losing this match 2 versus 3, which of course would still be a outcome favorable for Team Latvia. Now, interestingly, Team Ukraine, which of course is very strong, has Team Spain outtraded on every table. I would say that, well, I guess table 1, where Zaharic is almost equal to Tiamat in rating, that's pretty much a coin toss, and that's the table that we're going to start to watch. And then table number 2, I'd say that the strongest Ukrainian player, Kirilo Madcan, with a screen name Adria, is probably a favorite against the Spanish team with a screen name Rakharat, but Rakharat has been quite hot. He has delivered a couple of upset and secured the win of Spain against Poland and against the United Kingdom in his deciders, so he will be looking to deliver against Ukraine. On table 3, we have the newcomer in the Ukrainian team, who started this tournament with just over 400 around 400 rating points. Now she's above 600. She's even outrating her teammate Tanya, and she's playing against the well-known Spanish streamer Juliano Apostata. So that's, I would say, also is a toss-up. I really haven't seen her games. I mean, I assume she has to be good if it's like 600, but she hasn't played for Team Ukraine before. This is her first match. On table 4, Pavel, also a newcomer for the Ukrainian team, although he has played a couple of matches before. Not to be confused with Sergei Brin, no relation. Is playing against the Spanish player with a screen name Madcan. And on table 5, we have the strong Ukrainian player with a screen name fan Alex N, playing against David Kobo with a screen name Tsocanero, who is probably considered to be the second most strongest Spanish player. The strongest Spanish player is considered to be David Garcia with a screen name Estroncio. So yep, these are the stats, but now we are going to be watching the game, and we will be obviously rooting for Spain. So, hi Helge, hi DVQ, hi Kirill, hi Napam I, hi Joao Morgarido, Yeah, DVQ, don't write stuff like this. I mean, I know I mean, it doesn't do anybody any good necessarily. Yeah. Bad luck to Latvia today, but we also made mistakes. So Team Latvia today is a bit on hockey euphoria because I know that half of my viewers are from the Western Hemisphere, like from South America, and you probably won't know what I'm talking about. But it's a big deal. The World Championship in ice hockey is going on, and for the first time in history, Latvia today got a bronze medal, defeating the team United States. So I still have all my hockey chants still in mind. So for those of you who understand, I'm going to say Darkovar, Spania i uzvar. That was just my idea of cheering on Team Spain for today's match. So away we go with the actual games. Oh, where are the games? Come on, you gotta start, man. Oh, there they are, there they are. So the Ukrainian captain will be taking on the Spaniard who is almost equal in rating to him. You must be familiar with Sergei Zakharenko, who was also a guest on stream at some point. Joao was saying congrats on the bronze medal. Yes, thank you very much. It is a huge deal. Kind of ice hockey is considered to be a national sport in Latvia. And like every hockey player is a celebrity. So yeah, well, whilst ice hockey is the most popular physical sport, Carcassonne has to be the most popular mind sport. And that's what we care about right now. Okay, so I'm just going to, instead of Spain, I'm going to say we get the starting player advantage. And we're playing the yellow meeples here against the Ukrainian with the red meeples. We get a 2-point road. The Ukrainian gets 4-point city, kind of standard openings. We're starting a new city over here. Not where I was started, but it's okay. The reason why I'm not a huge fan of this move because of this vulnerability over here, but what does it matter? Because we're just going to finish the city. Now, both of these meeples are in a slightly precarious position, but of course it's still the opening. There are all kinds of tiles remaining. I'm thinking that you see 2 out of 4 tiles have already been used up. So that's why the pressure on this square and on this square is a bit higher than normal. But of course, anything can happen yet. Alright, so 7 points on the scoreboard for red. Oh, I like this move. Look at that monastery meeple by yellow. It's rather smart. It's a rather safe place which can develop quite quickly. There's another monastery spot, especially if you get a monastery with a road. You can point the road to the left, pre-build a 3-point road, save your city, score 3 points over here, score 8 points over here, and really do a lot of damage as yellow. And more importantly, now this square is quite protected, so red was going to obviously start a new city and do something harmful with this square, but it did not happen. So red is starting another monastery over here. Certainly a nice monastery start. Choose not to stack monasteries, but just go for the controlling move. Zaharic, in the meantime, picking up some city caps. He can go over here as well. He can go over here. That's a great question. I'm not sure exactly what he should do. I actually prefer to start the new city cap. Oh, look at this move. And now there are 3 tiles that fit over here. So things seem to be going well for yellow, sort of, kind of. Of course, if he gets one of the 3 tiles that fits into this square, 88-ish% chance for that. Also, there's this little city cap lying around unattended. So Zaharic now probably should be thinking of some sort of blocking move. He might go over here, even though it gives 1 point to his opponents. It really disrupts the development of this monastery in a variety of ways. It makes sure that There are only 2 tiles that fit over here. No, he just goes for a simple road. I probably would have preferred a block over here, but he does not do it, and he immediately pays the price. Because Tiamat now draws the dream tile, the best possible tile he could have drawn. 1 monastery point, 4 city points, and pre-building a 4-point road next to his city. Now, when he finishes this city, and it's rather a when rather than an if, he's going to score a bajillion points. So as Zaharic now, I guess probably you could score 2 points somewhere, or you could score 2 points over here and like finish a loop, or you could go over here, finish your road, and then put pressure. But he scores 2 points over here. I'm not a huge fan of this move, to be honest. I mean, I'm a fan if I'm rooting for Spain, which I am, but like I don't think it's the best move in this position, because it's also, even though it looks like it's putting pressure on Yellow's monastery, it's also pre-building this nice loop that they can have. Tiamat building up his city. Yellow probably looking to draw a triangle and then have some farmer. Aha! So the Ukrainian player has turned Japanese and decided to do a Japanese style block. It's not really a block, it's just kind of hurting Yellow's prospect of continuing his city, even though you're adding 1 point to your opponent's city. In the immediate future, the city's long-term prosperity have been severely delayed. So Yellow here saves what he can. It's 1 city point. It's kind of indirectly continuing his road. But this square is super sensitive here. Ooh! So he, greedy. He doesn't connect to the city. He starts a new city instead. Surely that's something that Zaharic, that's Yellow, likes seeing. And now the moment of truth. Okay, so the blocking platform was created and immediately diffused. Now there's still 4 tiles that fit over here, and suddenly this city is becoming dangerous. So I'm not exactly sure who I prefer in this position, and the answer is I think I prefer Yellow. I prefer Yellow to Red. Even though Red is 13 points up ahead on the scoreboard, Yellow's meeples are very harmoniously deployed. Like, there's this high impact tile. He's about to get his road back. There's a straight line that fits over here with a potential farmer. So Tiamat now, he's not going to finish the road, actually. I think he's going to go over here. Possibly drop a farmer. No, he goes here first, just to have some more meeples, and the next curve goes over there for sure, but it doesn't because Zaharic has the move. Now, what does Zaharic do? There's some candidate moves. You can go over here, start some blocking, but I don't think it's gonna cut it. No. You have to play more aggressively. I think Zaharic, the best move, is to go over here and meeple the farm. Even though it's only a 3-point farm, it will be connected with the big farm, and like everything over here will be connected, and this will be absolutely worth fighting for. 1, 2, 3 completed cities, eventually 4, eventually 5, possibly 6. That's an 18-point field waiting to happen at least. In addition, this move would put pressure on this city, but let's see what the Ukrainian captain decides here. Okay, Tiamat now has to go here. Maybe the Ukrainian captain is watching the stream. He came up with the best move, so maybe I should be a bit more discreet in my suggestions. Anyway, we go over here, we meeple the farm. That's the move, not that one. Okay, so I think the first misstep by the play with the yellow meeples here. I mean, there are only so many curves remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like 3 of those. And this move is rather time sensitive. I mean, you have to meeple this farm eventually. So now Zaharic can probably go here, put pressure on this square, add 2 points to his city. He could also go over here, actually start building a lip-shaped city like this with a bunch of triangles. That's also a legit move. So he goes for the first, for the safer option, and Tiamat can't do anything about it. Well, actually, he can. He can go over here and connect to his city. He could also go over here and continue his city, but I do not think it's the best move. Although, what do I know? I lost my duel today, so I shouldn't be lecturing anyone. I should be just commentating. Whoa, interesting play here. Zaharic chooses not to play a point scoring move, but instead he goes over here. Oh, Tiamat now meepling another monastery. So that's what he was saving the square for. The downside, of course, is that this monastery allows red to clinch control of the field. Yellow will be playing with one meeple for a while, which is a bit of a problem if you ask me. And also the thing with this monastery, there's a reason why I preferred this curve over here, because then yellow would have been able to place this monastery over here, hurting the city at the same time. I mean, he can still do that with a future monastery perhaps, but meeple shortage, that certainly will be an issue. Zaharic will now probably go over here, but he doesn't. He decides to put a bit of pressure on this monastery square, and now he's going to finish his city. In all likelihood, Tiamat has finished his monastery, but because he was not able to drop a farmer urgently, he will now be forced to compete for the farm inefficiently, if he needs the farm whatsoever, right? Because Zaharic here drew a city tile, completed his city, and dropped a farmer, which is why I think we should have attacked this city a little bit earlier, but that's okay. There's a bunch of other things that we can do. We could win the coin flip for this, for example, because there's a nice evil hamster spot, and if we get a monastery and get the city tile early enough, and we finish the city, okay, we go over here. Yeah, perfect, great move. And now, wow, that now 5 different tiles fit here, so the city is all but guaranteed, 97% chance of it getting completed. And this city already will put yellow ahead on the scoreboard. So I think really the way that yellow can win this game is just to simply win the coin flip for the monastery, and then no field play will be needed. Lots of strong setups over here. This city is also stronger than it may seem, even though it's only 2 tiles worth. If yellow gets one of the tile that goes over here, he's going to score 4 points for the road, get 1 more city cap, threaten to finish his city. So yellow's meeples are well deployed, if only if he had a bit more of them. Okay, Tiamat finishes his city. Will he drop a farmer? He chooses not to do that because he wants to keep his win condition flexible. It is not yet clear whether he will need the farm in order to win, and now it's clear that he will need the farm in order to win because the coin flip goes red's way. He scores a monastery, and well, there's really not much that we can do as yellow. Candidate moves are going over here, hindering the development of this monastery and the completion of this monastery. Also, a candidate move is going over here, pre-building another monastery spot. There's still 2 monasteries remaining, and he does it. He wants to finish a monastery with another monastery, but it's not gonna work just yet because the Ukrainian player draws one of the monasteries that he needs. There's still another one. But Zaharic now will probably go over here. Meeple a monastery. You could also go over here, I guess. Take a 2-point road. Now he goes for it. Now Tiamat is getting a meeple back. He's putting himself ahead on the scoreboard. Monastery equals monastery, monastery equals monastery, so everything should be more or less equal. So really the win conditions for both sides are going to depend on these 2 cities, right? If yellow finishes this, it will be fantastic for him. And if yellow finishes this, it will be fantastic for him. So yellow could either win the coin flip for the monastery and get some nice 7 points. Interesting. Okay. So Zaharic drops a divider in his field, creates a blocking threat against this monastery, and now Tiamat has a really tough decision to make. So he can go over here and actually meeple the city even. Yeah, maybe that's not such a bad move. Well, you see there are 2 regular city caps that go over here. And then instead of finishing a monastery with another monastery, you could be finishing it with a city. But this triangle also fits here very nicely. You can go over here, meeple this 4-point road. Potentially, if you get this 4-point road, you can get a 6-point road like this. And then you say, you know, maybe it doesn't matter what happens to this monastery. There's some scenarios how, let's say, this monastery gets blocked, red completes his city, and then yellow manages to place some sort of triple city tile restricting this square, and these two city caps will not belong to red field. Something like this. Meeple the like button if you all are here. For the algorithm and for emotional support for me as a captain of a team that has lost just lost 5-0. Okay, he goes for the greed. One can only empathize with that. Me likey this move. There's still 2 of those, so it's possible to finish this stuff with tiles like this. Oh, interesting. So Zaharic chooses to clean off a city cap like this. But what this does, it creates a coin flip for all the marbles, essentially. If yellow is able to draw the one remaining regular monastery, it's pretty much 18 points on his scoreboard just like that and a meeple back. Now, a very tough choice for Tiamat here. Now, you really have to count tiles carefully. I mean, there's some candidate moves. You can go over here, drop a farmer, say that you're going to engage in a field fight. But then if you're doing this, you're robbing yourself of the option to finish your stuff with two triangles. And then another option was to go here, maybe drop a farmer or restrict red's fields, red city somehow. Ah, you see now. Tiamat wishes he hadn't played his previous move. I mean, he probably should still go over here. Try to finish his city. There are not too many attacking tiles. And in case red does get an attacking tile, then at least he's forced to prolong yellow's road. Red is now ahead on the scoreboard by 1 point. Anything can happen here. Yellow has the field dominance, but this city and this city could just about equalize it for yellow. Interesting development, by the way, tile-wise. All curves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All curves have been played. And this is so unusual when there are still 20 tiles remaining. So this means that this idea will be a bit harder to implement that I suggested of yellow being able to complete his road without a road end. This monastery has been permanently deceased, which is why I really disliked the move before that was trying to save it. Tiamat chooses not to continue his city, interestingly. He just chooses to dump the tile. I guess the idea behind his move is that he wants to get like one more starting tile or something like this, or maybe one more dagger tile. So all he wants to do is just not subject the city to further attack. It's a very interesting idea. I don't hate it. What could Zaharic do? It's a fantastic tile for him. Score 3 points over here. Score 3 points over here, get a meeple back. Score 2 points over here, get a meeple back for the monastery. Loads of ideas. He goes for the move that gives him a little bit fewer points, but a greater meeple advantage. So, Tiamat gets the critical tile. It is, of course, super important. He goes over here. He finishes a 4-point road, 8-point city, 12 points on the scoreboard, equal in meeples, extra monastery, still behind on the field. But if he finishes the city, then we're doing just all right. Or is he going to get fancy? Now, of course, he's going to play this. He's just going to use his time for tile counting quite wisely. Now, Zaharic will be thinking here. He's probably going to go over here trying to put pressure on this city. You don't want to give your opponent a fieldless win condition unless you have to, right? Because this field now is like 18 points and still under control. Yeah, exactly. He goes for it and pressure, pressure, pressure. So field meeple goes over here. He says, you know what? I'm going to try fight for this field maybe, and even if I don't, there's this little 6-point piece that will be sort of kind of valuable. So Zaharic can't do much with this tile, can add 1 point to his monastery, can go over here, block off this farmer, but that actually not such a great move. He can go over here and try to pre-block this square. So let's say in the event yellow does get a monastery tile, that yellow can put it over here and only score 8 points rather than 9 points. A fantastic tile for Tiamat. It goes either over here or over here, thwarting the development of this city. And how timely it was, because yellow was about to complete his city. Or was he? Because this is also a fantastic tile for red. Yes, red was about to complete his city. Just mixed up the colors over here. So red can go over here and block yellow city. This is the last tile of its kind. There are no more tiles remaining like this, and he does this indeed. It's a very painful move for yellow, but it's okay. Yellow can still fight for the field, probably. So our win condition, the way we do this, I guess we get a monastery tile, we go over here, we meeple the monastery, get 8 points on our scoreboard, and then we either get a road meeple back, or maybe we drop a farmer over here, trying to connect through some sort of crossroads over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's still 2 crossroads tile remaining. Never mind, scrap that. I missed this 7th one over here. So there's only 1 crossroad tile remaining. Still 1 is better than 0. This option is still on the table. There are a bunch of other field connection spots like here, perhaps through a Dorito like this, which are still in existence. Zaharic just indirectly continues his city. Tiamat takes 4 quick points. Okay, interestingly, Jean was saying Fanalex and Soconero is not being played. Fanalex is offline, Soconero is online. Is that going to be a no-show? I mean, Team Latvia lost one match, one duel because of a no-show, so maybe Team Ukraine will respond in kind. We get news which are not so great news for me, but I still gotta update the scoreboard, that the Ukrainian player with screen name Adria, the strongest player in my view, has just defeated Spain's main weapon with the screen name Rakharat, who was giving them all these decider duels. So what's happening with Fan Alexey? I mean, I hope he's okay and everything. What does Zaharic do here? It's an interesting question. Hopefully some sort of mistake. But it's hard to go wrong with this tile. I mean, a natural move would be starting another city. Or if you want to get like really fancy and creative, you can go over here and drop a farmer, try to expand your farm, drop more meeple, something like this. I'm not sure if it's objectively the best move. Certainly that would make the most entertaining content for you guys. He goes for this kind of stuff. But that's okay. It's an interesting idea, certainly trying to just build the city, trying to finish it. Tiamat draws a Dorito, and that is an interesting choice. I guess we could just meeple this ruin and equalize all the city. Possibly we can go over here. Yeah, I think it is the best move, really, just the safest. Then we can put some sort of city cap and then block this square, enjoy a 7 versus 1 mini battle. Another option is to go over here and to pre-build a 9-point evil hamster spot in case this monastery shows up in yellow's hands. Yellow will be able to go over here and meeple it immediately and get 18 points on the scoreboard and 2 meeples, well, 1 extra meeple in his hand. Okay, thanks João for delivering some good news for Latvia, because the Spanish player with a spectacular screen name Madcan has summoned all his extreme emotions and was able to channel them into a victory over Pavel Breen. No relation to Sergei, I presume. So remember, in order to advance, Ukraine doesn't need to just win this match. They need to win this match heavily, either 4-1 or better. Certainly the fan Alexey duel is keeping us all in suspense, because who's at fault here? I mean, if hopefully Alex is okay. That's all I can say. Because I mean, according to the rules, like, because we know in the situation in which Ukraine is in case, well, let's hope that this is not the actual reason. But in case should they ever be unable to participate in the duel for safety reasons, then the duel shall be replayed according to the rules of the tournament. Let's hope that this is not the case here. Interesting. Zaharic builds up his field, gets more cities onto it. As Tiamat would probably just take the 1 point or whatever. And then maybe try to fight for this field somehow? I'm not really sure. Yeah, this farmer is a bit awkward, right? Because on one hand, as yellow, we really want this monastery here. But on the other hand, we'll be immediately relinquishing all those field points. That's why it's so crucial to be the first on the field when the field has a lot of future value. I think this curve over here with the farmer, that's what possibly could have decided the match. The duel. The game. Let's just not get ahead of ourselves. And also yellow can still win. Craft Giraffe is here. Oh, you decided not to stream the Belgium match. Some other streamer took all my viewers. Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, you know, I cannot stream this stuff. And also, you know what I'm gonna do after this game? Actually, because Belgium's starting a little bit later, we're gonna look at the ending of Belgium's game. So at least Belgium also gets some coverage. That's gonna be a bit of spontaneous stream. Because, like, I mean, I'm so hyped up. I was like rooting for Team Latvia during the hockey match. Then, like, barely could focus during my game. No, I could focus a little bit, but barely could focus against the Polish player. And now I have to root again in what is probably going to be a close call. So yeah, but that's against taking over viewers in terms of like how Carcassonne content goes. I really don't view it as a zero-sum game at all, because I've noticed that most of the views that I get are not live; they're actually afterwards. So about for every stream that I get, around a third of my total views come on the day of the match, and then 2/3 come on the several few days after. I mean, because obviously not everybody is able to make the stream, and you know, people are just catching up a little bit later. Also, you get to watch me on double speed, as I know some of you do, and like scroll through moments of technical difficulties and stuff like this. So back to this game. I mean, I haven't counted up the points yet. I'm not sure who's ahead. I think the field is really, really, really big. The critical tile is certainly this monastery. Yeah, I mean, if red gets, red probably wins, but yellow needs to come up with something really quick over here. Actually, the crossroads has been drawn, so this field connection is no longer going to work. But do we have some sort of other field connection? Or maybe we don't need a field connection. Maybe we can just go over here pre-build, but we don't really need to pre-build demolish. I mean, I guess we could just go over here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the good news for yellow is that there's no tile that fits over here. So this side is enjoying a +6 advantage in the mini battle, now +7. Zaharic draws the thing. But will he put it there? He does. But does this allow a field connection? I'm not quite sure. So he should think really, really hard. I don't think there's a field connection, unfortunately. It's real unfortunate that yellow lost his coin flip. And this field is just impenetrable. Oh, this is rather sad. This was the coin flip for all the marbles in this duel. Kirill is saying, sometimes Alexey talks so fast that you can watch on 0.5 speed. I thought that people were doing this, but apparently I've been told that many of you watch me on like double speed or 1.5 speed, even when I was playing my Blitz tournament videos, which are like very machine gun-like. Yeah, so it does seem like actually yellow tried to play really well here at some point of the game. It's just being the first on the field and maybe winning some of the crucial coin flip is something that denied yellow the victory here. But it was the duel, and I'm still hopeful about its continuation. Okay, so João is saying that fan Alex N is a no-show. So, of course, yeah, I just hope that they're okay. Because we're yet to find out about the reason. Oh, look, actually it was so super close. The Monastery was really the coin flip for all the marbles. So look at this. Yellow was super, super close to a fieldless win. But the last Monastery tile denied it. But still, I have to give credit to Red. A nice idea clinching the field earlier and then sort of trying to build your opponent and make the field impenetrable. Alrighty, I gotta update the scoreboard. And we have to watch somebody else. So, who do you want to watch? I want to watch Table 3 because I have never seen Tanya you play. Oh wait, you're saying that yellow lost on time, but which game are you talking about? This one? I don't think so. Oh, it appeared so. Yeah, so yellow lost on time. Well, yellow lost the game anyway, so there's not going to be any dispute. But why was that? Like, we were watching the game all the time. They never had negative time. It's some sort of weird thing with Board Game Arena. This one, yeah. So, okay. Table 3 is finishing, you're saying? Their first game? Or their second game? Probably their first game. I know that Juliano's probably streaming, that's why... That's why he's playing a bit slower than normal. But also, actually, he's not a super fast player. He's unlike other Spanish players in a way. So this game is not great for the player with the red meeples, which is Juliano. And I'm kind of curious why he didn't continue his road over here. There must have been reasons. You see, Tanya here is ahead on the scoreboard. She has an extra monastery. Aha, maybe that was the reason. Because Juliano could get his meeple back. But he can also go over here. And he's also down a lot of points in the scoreboard. I mean, he has this beautiful ruin for around 15 points, if you ask me. But it does seem like he needs a bit more in order to win this. Aha, so he chooses to simply get some points. What is Tanya gonna do? And first of all, how many straight lines are there remaining? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 straight lines, I think. And you know why I'm asking about straight lines? Because they fit over here to complete yellow's field connection. So what red should do, they have to find some sort of field connection on their own. Maybe something here through the outside of a curve, or here through the outside of a curve. I mean, you have to hope for stuff like this, right? Now, yellow can do a bunch of interesting things. So she can probably go over here, meeple this road. Yeah, that would be quite nice for her. She could go over here, simply meeple a 6-point field. The reason why she could possibly meeple the road is to equalize this guy, essentially. But then it doesn't do much for her win probability anyway, because if she just gets the meeple on the farm, she probably wins. Okay, Rakharat equalized. They delivered 2 deciders for Team Spain, and now they're about to deliver, possibly, a decider for Team Latvia. So I will be most eager to update the scoreboard on that one. Okay, I'm just gonna put 2 question marks here, I guess. Yes, exactly, Joao. As Latvia, we need Spain to win at least 2 duels. So it is interestingly, at the end of the match, there are 3 scenarios. Either I'll be playing the Spanish anthem and experiencing positive emotion, or I'll be playing the Ukrainian anthem and experiencing sadness, or I'll be playing the Ukrainian anthem and experiencing positive emotion, because if Ukraine wins 3-2, this is also good enough for us. But anyway, I promised I would root for Team Spain, okay? I'm just going to root for Team Spain all the way in every single duel. Juliano now thinking what to do in this super, super difficult position, because Tanya just drew a straight line as she would be statistically expected. She went just incredible greed over here. She's now probably going to attempt this block. Well, is it a full block? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's one more. One more, baby. I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, there's one more crossroads, one more tile that fits over here. A bit of an inconvenient sequencing for Juliano. Of course, it's a juicy monastery, which he should meeple, probably. But now Tanya is probably going to take this city, or this field, frankly. I mean, she can be okay with this road being finished. And with this meeple getting his way into the field, because these 2 monasteries equal each other. This road is equal, and Juliano has the extra ruin, but it will not be enough. Juliano would be winning had he drawn the tile that he needs. Oh, wait a second! That's the splitter! Is that it? Is that it? He actually gets a meeple back, and he will be able to score. If he gets the crossroads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I triple checked, right? There's 7. There's one more still in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. If he gets it, he will be able to score 4 points for the road, and this could just make all the difference. What does Tanya do? She can't do anything. It's a 50-50 situation. And I believe if Juliano does get his way into the field and score the road, then this ruin will take care of the job for red. Now I feel the same way as I was feeling during the entire hockey match. Oh yeah, by the way, so for those of you who are from countries where they don't play ice hockey, Latvia was playing the bronze medal against Team USA, and it was like a super tight match. It was, first of all, 1-0, then 1-1, then 2-2, then in the third period, there are 3 periods in hockey, just so that you know. The Americans scored, so we were down 2 versus 3, and then 5 minutes before the end, or around that time, Latvia equalized, and then Latvia won in overtime. So you can imagine what stuff like this does to one's nervous system. Craft Giraffe is saying, will the positive negative emotion result in playing their anthem in major or minor chords? I'll stick with whichever chords are in the anthem, but I could. Well, in case of the Ukrainian anthem, it's actually a pretty easy decision, because the Ukrainian anthem is unique. Oh man, it was so close. Juliano loses the coin flip. Oh, it was so close. Here comes the crossroads. That was a brilliant attempt to reconnect. That would have been such a beautiful comeback. Even not just for the sake of Team Latvia, just for the sake of content. I think everybody would have enjoyed that. But he does not get the tile, and then Tanya, you can... Oh, actually, Tanya, you can go over here. That was a slight imprecision from Juliana, positive, because Tanya now can go over here and extend her field by 3 points. So Juliana should have meepled the field not here, but here, blocking this opportunity. Of course, these 3 points won't make the difference, and I assume that the player with the red meeple was a bit disappointed that he didn't get the coin flip. Juliana's saying, hi, YouTube. How do you know that we're streaming your game? You're not supposed to be watching. I guess he can see me as one of the viewers, yeah. All right, so Tanya, in her debut with the Ukrainian team, is delivering. Another point goes here for Ukraine, and it's time to go to table number 2. Do we have any other news? I don't know. So what are we having? Adria. Well, certainly Rakharat is doing great on the scoreboard here, but this game is actually, I'm not even sure that green has the advantage here, because look at this. Look at this. Team Ukraine is turning into Team Vatican, because these monasteries will give 24 points to red at the end of the game, just to account for this point difference. There are some fields that are waiting to happen. So there's this 3-point field, and there's this 6-point field. But if somebody draws a crossroads, which, I mean, eventually somebody will, then these fields actually merge. Also, Rakharat has a city open over here, which will create some threats. And he has this really interesting road, which will give him a lot of points, unless red draws a crossroad tile and is able to separate. But it ain't gonna happen, because red was drawing a monastery, not meepling it, just trying to create this blocking, and now Rakharat does draw the road, does not meeple any fields just yet, and that's certainly a nice addition to green's scoreboard. Well, but we all know that Adria is exceptionally strong. They will be trying to make a comeback. And one thing that they're doing, they're scoring 2 points for the road, 1 point for the monastery, and they're preparing to finish this monastery with a curve, which is why Rakharat was trying to block this stuff instead of maybe completing his city, but it's okay. So what do we do here? It's a great question. I mean, maybe it's just a time for some sort of field, but all the fields are really uninspiring. Like if you go over here, well, it's a 6-point field, but your meeple stays there until the end of the game. If you go over here, it's a 3-point field, potentially 6, potentially 9, but it will really take a long time to make that field happen. So you know what? I think here, there's no shame in meepling this field. You know why? Because all 6 monasteries are out, and green already has a ruin open. 2 ruins open, actually. A ruin and then a potentially finishable city. So green doesn't really need meeples for everything. And in fact, 6 points is about just as good as it's going to get in a position like this. Normally, meepling a 6-point field, especially in a close position, is kind of like a little bit iffy. But what do I know? Because he finds a better move. I mean, look at this. He meeples the road because there's still plenty of road ends, so he's going to get his meeple back. I mean, it's really, really a strong move. And then he gets to crossroads and he meeples the field, something like this. Now, as Rakharat, you could do a bunch of things. Yeah, he just goes for building up his city. Adria. Yeah, and Adria's first on this field. And somehow he has the meeple majority? Oh, no, not yet, not yet. He has the meeple minority, right? Rakharat probably should go over here to clean off the city cap. It's super important, and I see that there are still city caps with which he could finish this city. So the best move is here. Continuing your city, I don't think is the best move. I don't think the city is ever finishable. Just look at the number of big tiles. Oh, 4 points, of course. I mean, yeah, that's even better. Of course, leaves a free city cap, but come on, 4 points are 4 points are 4 points. Adria takes 2 points over here, understandably. Does not take this ruin just yet. So it's probably time to start cleaning off stuff. Okay, so green gets the city cap, which is absolutely huge for green. Green can clean it off, as he absolutely should. And then start dropping farmers. 1 over here, 1 over here. Take this ruin over here. Something like this. Difficult tile for Adria, not quite sure what to recommend. Maybe start a new city somewhere. Or farmer. Ah, a new city like this. Interesting. So Rakharat could either meeple this farm, or meeple this farm over here, which I rather like, or just go over here and attack this city. The question remains whether it is a good move or not, because I think there are still city caps with a straight road. But he does this. I don't think it's the best move. But what do I know? Because it pays off immediately. So Adria is not able to use this tile to finish this city. But I guess Kirillov has some other moves he can play. He can just simply drop a divider in his field and try to protect this field. That's probably your best shot at victory as red. And as green, you just need to clean everything up. Meeple some small fields, this ruin maybe. Just really get the most out of your meeple advantage. And in close position like this, especially when there are no big fields, when all the monasteries have been used, deploying your meeples is super time sensitive. Sometimes, if you're too late, then it's simply not enough for you. There's just not enough time for you to take advantage of your meeple advantage. So Rakharat does meeple a 6-point field, sort of attacking this field. Adria meeples this 4-point city, and we could see a field attack from Rakharat. Actually, that's probably not the worst idea. Or maybe he meeples this first. 4 points. I mean, not the worst idea if you ask me. Just trying to clean this one up. Ooh, he plays it risky. He connects this field. I don't think it is the best move. I think it's a bit too impatient because, like, given your lead, you probably want to keep these fields separate and connect only in case of dire emergency. And especially not going over here, not cleaning the city cap. Obviously, I don't know all the tiles, but I do think it could be a misstep. Look at Adria's move. It's a fantastic farmer. I told you he was going to come back. He was going to attempt to come back. Ooh, it does seem that Rakharat, by fighting for this field, is attempting to lose. I don't think that was the way to win. But what do I know? Because he's successful. He goes over here. Or actually, he could just simply go over here. Yeah, that's even better move. And block this entry over here. He does not do that. So all the fields are equal. But you see what happened as a result? This field is actually very big. It's 18 points. So how we're doing 4 points, plus 13 on the scoreboard, minus 16 for the monasteries, that's minus 3, plus 4 for the roads, that plus 1 for green, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 7 for green. So green just needs to preserve parity on the field. Don't attempt anything crazy. Now we really gotta think about those remaining tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One curve remaining, I think. Nope, there are 9 curves. So this means that a field connection like this is not really possible. Yeah, it's super interesting. I think everything's about that field. No vanilla caps, so the field connection through here is not possible. It's so fascinating. Like, if we just meeple a 6-point ruin, it doesn't do anything for our win probability at all. Because being plus 7 and being plus 13 makes no difference because the field is 18 points. That's why I don't like the idea of fighting for the field and just... I mean, but we've seen it many, many times. A Portuguese-dominated chat today, Glover is saying, I don't mind that. Meeple the like button for Iberian power. In the meantime, I have so many Portuguese players. Obviously, the most important Portuguese word for Carcassonne is invasão. But is it pronounced the same way in Portuguese as it is in Brazilian Portuguese? So, interesting development here. Rakharat is saying, you know what, I'm just going to score 1 point. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to give this to you. Now he's at plus 8, and Adria can only win with the field. If he scores 4 points, it's not enough. Probably. But the question is, are there curves remaining? Because he can go over here. Not curves, but curve-like tiles. There are no daggers remaining. And there are no Doritos with a curve. So I was thinking of a flashy move like this. If we go over here and meeple the farm, then there's a connection possible like this or like this. Normally it would have been a beautiful move, but it's not possible due to the nature of the tiles remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait a minute. There's a straight line. Uh-oh. Or is there? Maybe Rakharat just drew the tile that this guy needed. Yeah, probably. But actually, let me think about this. So 8 points. 12. Yeah, this was the great move by the player with the red meeples. This was absolutely a great move. Giving himself a 33% chance of just outright winning the game. But 33% is not enough. And that's why the Spanish, now at the moment my favorite Spanish player with a screen named Rakharat, delivers another upset for Team Spain. And Spain is the first on the scoreboard. What a game, what a game. So certainly Rakharat made me sweat by fighting for the field, but then eventually he was able to prevail. And yeah, it's also Adria, I think, showing some really high level Carcassonne towards the end, doing his best what he could for a comeback, but Just wasn't meant to be. Okay, so thanks for confirming that invasão is the same in Portuguese, Portugal, and in Portuguese, Portuguese, and Brazilian Portuguese. Yeah, exactly, Joao. Thanks for confirming. So the point is, like, this 1 point for Spain is huge, and if Tocamero is indeed awarded the win, then Spain has already the two duels necessary for Team Latvia to advance. But wait, whom did we not watch yet? We watched Juliano, we watched Rakharat, we haven't watched Madcan. How are they doing? Oh, so it's 1-1. I think I missed a win for Pavel somewhere, and they're playing the decider, which we're absolutely going to watch. Also, they've just created the third match, which is great because we'll get to watch it for the start. Okay, so Pavel Brin just equalized a second ago, so we didn't miss anything. So, come on, Madcan, show that you're the maddest cans out of all the cans out there. Also, does anybody know the actual origin of his screen name? Okay, never mind. I mean, they're probably taking like a quick 2-minute break, so we'll just breeze through the tables a little bit. How's Zaharic doing? Probably finishing up their second game. Which is looking quite good for the Spanish player, at least on the scoreboard, but the scoreboard is not all that matters. We see a ruin here for Zaharic, so that's working for them. We see some field meeples. Fewer field meeples for the Spanish player. And extra monastery for the Spanish player. I didn't count up all the points, but it feels like super close. So a 3-point move, the best that he could do with his last tile. Zaharic's probably going to score a 3-point road somewhere. Or a 3-point field. Also, let me know in the chat. So imagine you get the starting tile as your last tile, and the best move that you can do is a 3-point move. Obviously, it doesn't matter, but what do you meeple? A 3-point road, a 3-point city, or a 3-point field? The Ukrainian player prefers a 3-point road to a 3-point field. Crafty saying always field, trying to doctor those field stats. Okay, Zaharic is saying one more game. So does this mean that Tiamat won? I assume so. I know that all Ukrainian players have the habit of actually refreshing and not waiting for the points to be counted. Oh wait, it's a tie? Are you kidding me? They're asking who started. So it is an actual tie, but actually who... Oh yeah, obviously Zaharic must have started because he finished. And no tiles were discarded, I think. Yeah, exactly, because the quadruple road is here, and this is here. So what a game. A win by tie. And the fieldless win, which was attempted by Tiamat in his first game, didn't quite... Well, it actually did work in his second. So, But as I said, I mean, we have to watch Pavel Breen if they've started their game finally. And they have. No, they haven't. So I guess Zaharic it is. Well, Zaharic is indeed doing great in his first game. In his third game, finishing a 10-point city just like that. Also, do let me know like when Pavel starts his game, because I'd probably want to switch, because it's nice to have to catch a glimpse, from everybody. Or actually, I don't know. I'll probably end up forgetting about this and getting too invested in this game. However, it does look like this one's not going to be particularly interesting. I mean, 14 points on the scoreboard, extra monastery. It's so hard to be yellow here, just so hard. Okay, they're starting now. I mean, I think really the other game will be more and more interesting. So thank you for confirming this. Man, y'all guys in the chat are making streaming so much easier and more enjoyable. Just have to remind you about the like button. It's important for the algorithm. I said this in my last stream. It's actually worked. So my streams have been suggested to people who had no idea who actually like Carcassonne but had no idea that there's this world championship going on. So you see, this one's kind of tighter. Madcan here is 6 points ahead on the scoreboard, whereas Pavel has the first monastery. So this one's going to be quite tight, equal. I don't know. I was just trying to demonstrate that both players are going to be at each other's throats. It's not an accident that Melvin Quaresma, the well-known Brazilian player, suggested renaming the game of Carcassonne Mortal Castles. So what are we having here? Pavel now dedicating a lot of effort into trying to block the city. But everything comes with tempo and extra value, right? He meeples a 2-point road over here, creates a threat, and then he meeples a 2-point city over here, creates another threat. And now, he's not gonna finish his city. He's gonna do, like some Spanish players like calling the Alexey, which is having two city caps next to each other. Last time I did this, it didn't work out quite well for me. Because unless you don't know, I'm a record holder. I hold the record for the least number of points in a finished Carcassonne World Championship game ever. Not a great record to have, but that's what it is. Yeah, and in this game, essentially I had two of these guys together and I got both of these meeples blocked. So let's see if Pavel gets both of these meeples blocked or not. Hugo saying duel Alexey. Okay. I like it, I like it. And look at this, I mean, Pavel's just throwing around city caps like there's no tomorrow. You know, I thought he was thinking, okay, I have this city cap in hand. Which city do I finish? This city? This city? No. Let me just drop a farmer and not finish either of the cities. You know, like, it's moves like this that eventually get you blocked and make you lose the game with 34 points. Madcan finds a good move with a tile that was difficult to play. Meeple's a 2-point road. And, like, what does Pavel do? Probably... Interesting. Pavel just finishes his road. Does not meeple the monastery. I think it was a good idea to spend your last meeple here. This monastery was just too good. So, Madcan here makes a double mistake, I think. Okay, this was... Oh, not the best move. For a variety of reasons. First of all, you have to clean off the city cap. It's better. Second of all, farmers like these lose in the long run. It's not like they are risky or everything. No, this move is just losing in the long run. Because you know what's going to happen? When you're in a situation like this with a farmer on an extender tile, either when you finish your city, you're threatening your field connection, or when you connect to the field, you're threatening your city. So, like, you are tangling up your meeples no matter what. But, I mean, if you start, you might double down. You can go over here, drop a farmer like this, I guess. Or you can go over here, drop a farmer. Yeah, why not, why not? So he decided he really wants to go for the field here. Pavel scores an 8-point city with 2 triangles. But how come when he does it, it works, okay? He's probably going to score over 34 points just like by the middle of the game. He almost has them on the board now. So Madcan finishes a 6-point city on their own. Still, this guy super threatened. But also he's able to save his road somehow. I thought this meeple was a goner, but he isn't. I still probably would give red the advantage in this position. But, you know, green is fighting back. Green, for example, was able to turn his city into a ruin. And then it will grow to like 10 points or something, or 8 points. And then this blocked meeple isn't really blocked because it can still play. Craft Giraffe is saying, my M team isn't doing so great. Oh yes, referring, of course, there's another interesting match going on. Romania versus Mexico. And Mana Rory won against Mars, which means that somebody from Team Mexico, well, Marco Rivas with a screen and Mana Rory, has won 7 games out of 7. The only player in the entire championship. That's an incredible achievement. And also not against just anybody. Against the 2019 world champion, Mars 15, who also had won 5 of his duels. Well. Despite this super risky meeple, which I maintain is losing in the long run, it did not lose the game here, because green was able to successfully finish his city and get the farmer. Both players are exchanging some really weird moves, if you have to ask me. I don't understand why Pavel seems to just not care about these monasteries. So instead of finishing his monastery and meepling a lucrative road, he decides, no, I'm going to just take 3 points and roll the dice with this square. Madcan decides to grow the field, which is technically his, but Pavel now picks off the empty city caps. And what does he do here? I guess Madcan could go here. Or no. As Madcan, you go here. Yes. Oh, it's such a painful move. Well, actually, I'm not sure how painful it is. Maybe a better move was to point this curve down and just meeple the road. There are some scenarios, let's say, if red gets, let's say, a triangle with a road, like this, then this square is saved, and all is good. But if before that happens, this guy over here gets something like this, a triple city tile or a quadruple city tile, whoa, then he can go over here and block 3 meeples. So it's a super, super sensitive situation, which is why as Pavel, do you know what would be the move of the week? You don't go here now. You go over here. Let's see if he actually finds it. Nah, that's not the strongest move. So he just gets a meeple back. And Madcan, of course, will be super, super happy to block 2 of Pavel's meeples. But the move that I was suggesting, which I really think is better, was actually securing these 2 squares, making sure that there are 3 tiles that fit here, 88% chance, and 3 tiles that fit here. And it was almost unblockable, right? Because there were actually only 2 blocking tiles. One is the monastery with the road, if green were to draw over here, or the other tile would be this triple city with the road, if green were to put it over here. But the thing is, you're so much more likely to draw 2 of your 6 of your tiles, 1 of 6 of your tiles before your opponent draws 2 of your tiles, that I really think Red missed out on being in my next week's video. Speaking of which, send me suggestions for move of the week. Obviously, most of the matches are happening at the same time right now. Some of them finished a couple of hours ago. But in case you notice anything interesting, please do let me know. You know, it's the last week of the group stage. I really want to make sure that this next move of the week video is special. So Madcan here is finishing his city, and he's debating whether to drop a 3rd farmer. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. Like, do it for the content. Why not? This field is pretty important. And then it is still possible to play with 1 meeple. So, and then you can just keep your 3rd meeple here as insurance. You actually don't need to get it into the field. Yeah, I really like a farmer here. There are a few monastery spots that you can use. You can use curves over here. You can use straight lines for blocking. You can use curves or Doritos for connection. You use city tiles for expansions. And something else that I missed. Green pre-completed his city. So if green draws this, not only does he score 4 points for the road and get a meeple back, he scores a 10-point city as well. So a 4-point move, a 14-point move is just waiting to happen. Which is why, as Pavel, if you draw the tile that fits here, then you probably have to finish this city yourself. But just as we were describing this situation, it's the Spanish player who drew this 10-point city tile. Hi, Elias. Yes, I was already told about the news. Okay, Craft Giraffe is saying that you sent me a suggestion for move of the week. Great. Whoa, look at this. Actually, that's a really nice farmer. So he decided to sacrifice 4 points and not meeple the road just for the sake of the field. And it's really actually is the best move because, well, I'm not sure if it's the best, but it's a very good move. Wait, and now Pavel brings in green farmer into the field. Does this mean that Pavel is saying, I want to try to win without the field? But how are you going to do this when you're behind on the scoreboard? To be honest, like in this game, some of the moves that should have been played by red were played by green. And some of the moves that should have been played by green were played by red. Okay, so Pavel decides to fight for the field. But before fighting for the field, he helped his opponent to connect into the field. I do get it. I don't get it. Maybe somebody in the chat can explain. But possibly they're both tired. And I mean, and it's not like I haven't made a fair share of mistakes myself. Although usually I think for a little bit longer. You know what? At some point, I was almost rooting for the Ukrainian player. I was really hoping that they would find this move over here to save all their meeples. But they didn't. They still will try to fight for the field. I think the way you win this game as red, you actually get a majority on the farm somehow. You just go all out on the field. The problem for that is that there are not too many places to do so. And Madcan's probably going to go over here and drop another farmer, as he should. But I would have preferred a different orientation for this tile, so that green has back-to-back options through a curve and a straight road. 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 curves still remaining, I think. Yeah. And the idea was, if you just meeple this like this, then you don't have to connect through here. You can go over here and over here. Of course, it's a minor imprecision, but, you know, at the end of the day, stuff like this just adds up. So Pavel now can probably go over here. Try to make it harder for green to connect here. Yeah, so essentially, in order to win, Pavel would have to kind of block all of his opponent's farmers and then connect to the farm himself. Oh, interesting. So João was saying that you're playing against Pavel a lot and sometimes he's too impulsive. I'd say so. I mean, he's a good player, but he's sometimes a bit unstable, I guess. He has like his good moments and bad moments. But I know for sure that the Ukrainian team, they are practicing a lot. I mean, they are improving. Did you see, I mean, Tanya's rating grow like 200 points? So yeah, you see, now that Pavel actually kind of thought for a long time, he found a really strong move. And the idea behind it is there's actually very few tiles that fit. I think there are only 2 of these guys, the crossroads with a city cap. And even if green manages to connect over here, he'll have to use a valuable tile. Or red could hope to block this field connection later. This was an interesting move, by the way. This tile here was placed by red a few moves earlier with the idea that there's nothing that fits into this square, which actually I should double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that's really interesting. There are no city caps, at least, that fit into this square. So that was a nice block. And speaking of nice blocks, the Spanish player is responding in kind. They did place the curve over here because they are only 2 curves, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 2 curves remaining that fit into the square. We also need not forget the monastery with the road, which also fits into this square. And at least now he has made it somewhat harder for red to get into this field. So he's saying, you know, like, you block me, I block you. What else could red do? I mean, red needs to just hustle for field connections. That's pretty much it. Are we desperate enough to go here and drop a farmer hoping to connect through a curve? Probably not yet. This is one thing that I've noticed, actually. I mean, of course, the Ukrainian team is incredibly strong. But when studying the Ukrainian team for the match against Latvia, which we won 4-1, I've noticed one flaw. They tend to overutilize, you know, the field connection through the outside of a curve. Kind of, yeah, let's say, imagine like a city cap over here and a farmer on the outside of a curve that connects like this. And they seem to go for this stuff a little bit too early and when there's still crossroads remaining. Pavel, did you see that? Was that the move of the week? Pavel Breen has apparently used his Google connections to exert some influence on the board game arena developers. He drops a farmer over here, and there's only one tile in the entire deck that fits him to connect into the field, and he gets it on the very next move. Do you know the odds of that happening is like less than 10%? And as the icing on the cake, he also gets a 4-point road to go with it. And now this game is absolutely up for grabs. Which of course makes me nervous as a supporter of Team Spain. But I mean, credit where credit's due. Chris Tucker is saying, should Green have joined the two farms with the curve? Good question. Probably not, actually. Well, I see Green's idea here. So essentially, he's just kind of getting a majority, right? But Green has other win conditions. And with this move, he's saying, I'm going to preserve my majority on the field, and that's it. And you're going to lose. So this gives a glimmer of hope to Red here. Oh, the crawling technique. I wanted to make a video about this so much. Not only does this move takes 1 point for the ruin, he actually wants to eat up these pieces as well. How cool is that, huh? Pavel dumps the city over here. It's not just a dump. He actually wants to make this move. He wants to use a field connection over here, which is why Madcan will probably go over here to stop it. But this will create another field connection, so there's no way to prevent your opponent from trying to connect to the field. Actually, I think if I understand the remaining tiles correctly, I think the strongest move here is to place the curve like this, seemingly blocking your own city, but it's already blocked. And the idea is that I don't think there's actually a combination that could get you into the field, because by blocking like this, you restrict this square, and you also prevent any field connection from above. But moves like these are super counterintuitive, are very hard to spot, and require perfect tile knowledge. But yeah, I just recounted, and yes, this is absolutely true. So this move here eliminates both this and this field connection. Now, there's some other field connection opportunities as well, so something dangerous can happen over here. I don't think you can eliminate all of them, but as Madcan, you should eliminate at least some of them. Oh, Nico's saying that Belgium is winning with 3-0 at the moment. That's certainly nice for Team Belgium. Not so great for Team Peru. Is he watching the stream or not? Or did he just found this awesome move? Wow, I mean, awesome. It's a super strong move to find. What a game here by Green. Of course, it does not eliminate these field connection. And I think what Red can do now, I mean, his only hope is to go not here, here. He had to go over here, drop a farm, and hope for Madcan's tile. And that would have been a 50-50 because that was completely unblockable. It does seem like Pavel may have already given up. Because even equalizing the field will not work for him, right? Because okay, this is here, this is here, this is here, this is here, so it's 2 versus 2, 1 versus 1 over here. And look at this. The third player on the power play, to use hockey terminology, which of course is in the back of my mind today. So yeah, so Pavel needs to equalize the field and then some, but how do you do this? Not with this tile for sure. I mean, you have to like go all in somehow. But how? There's just no moves. I guess you can score 5 quick points, 6 quick points to be exact, but it just ain't gonna cut it. Joao was saying that this move is super counterintuitive. Yeah, it really is. To be honest, I'm also really happy that I found it. It's sort of will cheer me up a little bit after our team's 5-0 loss today. So Madcan will now just place this tile anywhere. And will give a big sigh of relief to all Latvian fans in just a second. I'm not going to refresh because there's still a small chance that, I don't know, I miscounted something. Maybe suddenly some more red farmers appear. I don't think they will because, you know, the red meeples are pretty prominent. It's the green meeples that are harder to spot. Both players are exchanging something in the chat. Okay, Pavel is saying good luck in the final stage. So Madcan does indeed win, and what an exciting game his was. I mean, he made some really strong moves as well. Yeah, very interesting. Managed to build a big ruin. This city was huge. This was a real nice pre-build. He saved his road. He was able to block two of his opponent meeples. And then just win with a big field, plus 30 in style. So I was going to say congratulations to Team Spain. I'm not going to say that just yet because even though we have a no-show on table number 5, we aren't exactly sure if that is going to result in a victory point. For Spain, in all likelihood it is. So, how's our other decider doing? Zaharic. They're still playing. They sure have been using their sweet, sweet time. There are 3 tiles remaining and they're equal on the scoreboard, sort of, kind of. But now that I look at the board, there are a lot of yellow meeples, like on this 8-point monastery, on this 5-point monastery, on this gigantic incompleted metropolis. And as for fields, well, surely the red guy is into agriculture quite a bit. But I'm not sure it will be sufficient to secure the win, because these farms look kind of uninspiring. 3 points over here versus 6 points for yellow. Well, this farm is pretty big, but it's medium-sized actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12 points. Roughly the size of this ruin. And there are 6 points over here. It's super, super close. So he decides to just take 1 point. I don't think that was the play. I think he should have gone for maybe something like this, trying to finish a 10-point city on the right. That was certainly a move, but he is also in time trouble. Ah, he figured that this city was blockable. I understand him. So the best he can do is a 5-point monastery if there is no field tile. Because, for example, if he places the monastery over here, and this guy has some sort of tile that fits here, but of course he is a strong player who's playing precise, and he calculated that there was this straight line remaining, so he took the maximum possible number of points without being afraid to lose this field. It's nice precision to have, but I don't think it will be enough to win the game. And Tiamat, look at this, he goes for another fieldless win. Somebody has been watching a lot of my videos apparently. But yeah, like a fieldless win is such a powerful tool. He worked for that fieldless win the entire duel. Wait, is that even a win? Oh, maybe it isn't. Maybe I got it wrong. That would be fun. Oh no, it is a win. It is a win with 1 point. Oh no, yeah, 1 point, 1 point. Unbelievable. 2 points, 2 points. So look at this. In the first match, in the first game, Tiamat attempted a fieldless win and lost by 7 points. In the second game, he attempted the fieldless win again, and then that game was tied. But because he was the second player, he was considered the winner of that game. And in the third game, he finally managed to squeeze out that fieldless win with 2 points. So yeah, somehow Spain, how are they getting this done? Even though they weren't really particularly motivated for today. Well, I mean, maybe they were motivated, but like, this actually doesn't help Spain's tournament standings at all. It just helps, you know, their feel good. But that just goes to show you that that's a real team that's a real sports team, right? They're just trying to win no matter what, not only when it's really necessary. So this means that Spain has won the match, regardless of the outcome of duel on table number 5 and table number 3, which we'll have a look at in a second. And yeah, and my team Latvia is advanced to the next page. To the next stage. Oh my gosh. If we have already any Spaniards in the chat, thank you so much. Oh. Such a roller coaster day today. Okay, how's Tanya doing? So Tanya lost her second game and Juliano has equalized. So we are now going to watch the decider between Juliano and Tanya. Yeah, so we'll just wait. I'll update the scoreboard. And just, I have to breathe a little bit. Yeah, I just see that in everybody's rejoicing in my team's chat. And we'll just keep refreshing. As for this duel, for me, I will try not to root for anybody now, because like if Juliano wins, it's nice for a fellow streamer to win. If Tanya wins, it's nice for a newcomer to win. And then I guess next year she can say, you know, you should have put me in the lineup earlier. But she does not appear to be starting the game. So let's just have a bit more of a chat. How y'all doing today? I'm doing well. I've had a very interesting day. I'll have a very, very long sleep tonight. Actually, no, I still have some work to do after. Oh, it's gonna be such a long night. Because first of all, the emotional roller coaster with the hockey. For those of you who are just joining, I will remind you that the Latvian national team has for the first time ever won a bronze medal in the World Ice Hockey Championship. I cannot overestimate how big deal of... I cannot overstate how big of a deal that is. Then I was worried because like we had a player missing for the match against Poland, and I was trying to make some moves while looking for him. Turns out that he's okay, but we lost 0-5 versus Poland, which gave Ukraine a chance to qualify. So now it was like we were all on the edge of our seats at the start of this match. I mean, what a day it has been, and it's not over. I'm not sure if we'll have time to catch a glimpse of the Czechia match. Craft Giraffe is saying more than 3 countries play ice hockey. Well, yeah, Belgium is not one of them. Neither is Portugal, neither is Spain. Well, actually, that's not true. Belgium does have a hockey team. It's just not playing in the elite division. So the way the World Championship works, it has divisions. So they're like the top 16 teams, which are competing. And then, there's the next division and the next division. And every year, 2 teams get relegated from the top division into the lower divisions, and 2 teams from the lower divisions gets an upgrade and a shot at the title. So Canada is considered to be like one of the best teams. They actually are playing right now, or maybe they have finished. I don't care what happens in the final. Canada is playing against Germany in the final today. Latvia is playing against the United States. And then some other strong national teams in hockey are Czechia, Switzerland, Sweden, Finland. There's something in common. For most ice hockey teams, these are teams which are not represented at the World Cup of Carcassonne, unfortunately. I hope that Sweden will get a team sometime. And so will Finland. They have some players, they just need a few more. Oh, Vihe is saying Germany the second. So, did Germany lose to Canada? Nico saying we are Olympic champions in field hockey. Well, yes. Sorry to hear that, Vihe. I was rooting for Team Germany. Obviously, they had a great tournament. They had an upset against Switzerland in the quarterfinals. Then in the semifinals, Team Germany delivered an upset loss to the United States. Germany, like, actually was a super similar scenario. Yeah, it was like almost, it was just almost the same scenario. Team United States was ahead 3-2. Then Team Germany equalized like on their 2 minutes before the end, or 1.5 minutes before the end. Also, they did so. So, okay, as some of my viewers will not know, like, ice hockey is played 5-on-5 plus a goalkeeper. And then if you're behind, then you can replace your goalkeeper and leave your net empty. And you can replace your goalkeeper with another attacking player. And that's what Germany did, and they managed to score. So to give you a Carcassonne analogy, doing like this is the same as dropping a field meeple on the outside of a curve to connect to a farm. Like, that's would be the exactly. Elias is asking, why is Pavel Brin equal Google? I mean, well, because he has the same last name as Sergey Brin, the founder of Google. These are just my associations, okay? I'm pretty positive they're not related. Brin is a relatively common last name. And of course, Madcan is a Madcan. I mean, we already had this before. So see, Napalm is saying that Canada won against Germany 5-2. And we're still waiting for Tanya. Or for Juliano. I don't know whom we're waiting for. Okay, finally they have started. Earlier this morning, when China was playing against Catalonia, China had a newcomer as well. The player with the screen name 203 Club played their first duel, and they won it convincingly 2-0. So Tanya here has some shoes to fill. So far, the scoreboard looking great for her. She has 4 points, and Juliano has 0. So technically, she has infinitely more points than her opponent. Juliano, however, has the first monastery, and in the words of the 2019 world champion Marian Kurkan, he who has the monastery has the opening advantage. He who has the first monastery. Ah, okay. Okay. Hi, Carlos. Yeah. You were watching the stream. I know. I know. No, it's just my viewers being facetious. But seriously, awesome find for that move. Like probably you would have won anyway, but that was some really nice precision there, blocking two field connections at the same time. Because obviously, like, because I'm not invested in the game, it's like easy to see from here. I noticed that, like, I don't know. Lately I tend to notice more stuff when I'm commentating rather than when I'm playing. Wait, what did just happen? So, Tanya is getting a bit creative, right? Juliano's starting a new city, and was that Tanya who placed this monastery over here to just start to block? I mean, it's kind of working, but it's such an over-investment to maybe block your opponents, and even after this, there's still three tiles that fit. I mean, yellow was much better off just starting a monastery over here. Or for that matter, if you're gonna put it over here, just meeple the monastery. Or was it red that placed it here? But I know that red would never do that. So, please, can you just confirm? Because it's just such a strange move. Well, anyway, probably that's something that Juliano was super happy to see. He now has a range of options here. One is trying to connect to the city, which is doable, which is okay. But I think a better option is actually to go over here with this hourglass like this and meeple a new city. And then this would make his game super flexible. If he draws the tile to fit this square early, he can hope for a Dorito tile and finish the city. He finds the move. Nice. I mean, the Spaniards are in good shape today. And then if he doesn't find this tile, he could just grab a quadruple city tile and expand this into a ruin. It takes actually a lot of skill to be flexible when your opponent starts a blocking attack against you. You need to not panic and leave a bunch of options open. So now, once that Tanya has continued his blocking attack, that's actually quite a creative move. She did not finish in her city. She's adhering to the principle of two cities, although I would have preferred to just close the city, but it doesn't matter, I always give credit for interesting creative moves. And now it has been decided that now Juliano is going to try to close the city. Or should I say Francisco Javier? Because obviously Juliano is not his real name. That's just his screen name is was inspired by a Roman emperor. Tanya is starting to break Red City. So Red can start breaking Tanya's city. He chooses to simply continue this monastery, and his intention is to meeple this road upon completion. Which is why Tanya could probably just go ahead and take the 3 points for this road. Ultimately a net 2-point move. Okay, thanks Joseph for confirming. So this move with the upper monastery was Tanya. Yeah, now imagine how much better it would have been with a meeple. Certainly something for Team Ukraine to cover in team practice. So Tanya is going to finish her city and at the same time creates a blocking attack on this. This meeple's super vulnerable, so what do you do here as red? Do you score 2 points? I don't think so. I think the main moves here are either going here and just continue the city indirectly, keeping it open. Ah, but he goes for the fancier move. Now trying to continue his city indirectly and saying, hey, I have many triangle tiles. At least Dorito goes over here. And then I have a threat to finish the city. Or if you want, Tanya, you can go over here and meeple the city, which I think she should have actually. And then try to equalize this. Because, like, if she's not careful enough, Red is going to finish the city. And now Red actually will be one tile away from securing the city. Red can go over here, start a new city at the bottom. And if he manages to draw a triangle before Red draws some sort of city tile, then that's it. The city will be nicely covered up. And what looked once like a hopeless ruin will be a voluptuous metropolis. It's certainly a move that he's considering. Another move that he's considering is simply joining the city like this on up top. I don't think it's the strongest move. Another move that he could be considering is dropping this divider here on the farm, but he finds what I think is the strongest move. I mean, he's playing on point today. And Tanya does not get a city tile. She had the chance to equalize the city. She chose not to do this. I kind of have a feeling that this guy has a triangle in hand. Like, you know, like sometimes you just feel. There are these Carcassonne games. Okay, not a triangle, a city tile. It was close enough. So Juliano can finish his city or go over here. Probably the simpler play is best here. And Tanya is ahead on the scoreboard anyway. One thing that Red doesn't have quite great going on for him is that he needs now Doritos in 3 places. Still, there are plenty of Doritos in stock, as the Brazilian player Melvin Quaresma likes to say. Also, Brazilian Portuguese is super interesting when it comes to Carcassonne terminology. They say comprar, to buy a tile rather than to draw a tile. So you buy a tile from the stock. It's like very transactional terminology. Hi, Nicholas. How did the match go? I was planning to show a bit of Belgium, but this match went longer than expected. And also Ukraine and Spain are one of the 2 fastest teams in the championship. But I think because Juliano must be streaming his game with commentary on Twitch, I think that's why he's taking a bit more time. Tanya is starting to block the city. Still, plenty of Doritos with a road to go here. It's a super dangerous situation. Francisco Javier can probably go over here and equalize the city. It's just the safer play. I assume... Oh, wait. Duh. He can go over here, yeah, and obviously finish his monastery, threaten to finish another city. He was probably debating whether it's worth to meeple this road, or maybe doing some tile counting and points counting. Tanya, of course, will go over here. She could also consider going over here, because, like, this is super dangerous, but I think with a tile like this, you have to not get desperate just yet. Oh, Nicholas is saying, pity there's no stream. You finally won 5-0. I mean, 5-0, it's pretty impressive. Too many 5-0s today. We might as well see another 5-0 over here if Juliano wins right now. So that would be just so incredible. 5-0 Poland versus Latvia. 5-0 China versus Catalonia. 5-0 Belgium versus Peru. And possibly 5-0 Spain versus Ukraine. Nicholas is saying Marco maximum points for my Fantasy 5, referring to a very noteworthy event in the just finished Mexico versus Romania match, where Marco Rivas has defeated Marian Curcan and has gotten 7 victory out of 7 in 7 matches. And he'll remain perfect because he can't lose any matches anymore, any duels anymore, because Mexico has been eliminated from the championship. So, Juliano facing an interesting decision here. You see, Tanya's attacking, right? She's threatening to get her road tile, put it over here, and block the square. So what Juliano could do here, he could place this tile over here and limit the number of tiles that suit Tanya. And I think this is the best move. But another move that he's considering is simply placing this tile over here and just trying to continue his city. He goes for the better move, yet again, playing so precise today, or at least in this part of the duel that we saw. It's just incredible. Tanya will not finish her city. She'll be again ahead on the scoreboard. Or maybe she wants to get creative. Maybe she wants to go over here and put some pressure on this square. She'll do that, but later. What a tile. What a tile for Juliano. This tile goes over here, and the only question is, do you meeple the city cap or the field? I think the city cap. Although I'm not sure. What's worth more, a tempo or 4 points? Probably 4 points if you ask me. Actually, I'm not sure. He goes for the field. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's actually quite hard to connect to this field. I mean, Tanya could go here and connect through a monastery. Yeah, I think this is the move. Well done, Tanya. But you see, had Juliano not done this, Tanya would have meepled the main field now, and it would have been hard for red to get in. Oh, okay, so here comes the first misstep. Okay, so here comes the first big mistake by Juliano. I was just praising him how good he plays, but this is a mistake on so many levels. Okay, first of all, the best tile for this, the best use for this tile is just to go over here so that you get to use both bits of this tile. The problem with this move, even though you're bringing your city closer to completion, it's not a given that the city will be completed because Tanya can still block it. And if she does block it, then the only thing that you did, you severed this guy from these lucrative from this lucrative piece. So you've taken points away from yourself. And then another issue is that it's a bit of an inefficient use on tiles. There were still 4 Doritos remaining. 2 of them had a shield. And, I mean, it's a 96% chance, right? You have to take that chance. Let's see if this move actually cost him the game. The good thing for red right now is that yellow didn't do anything. She just dumped this tile, which I don't think is the best move. I mean, your opponent's about to complete the big city. You have to try better for some compensation. And he'll probably go over here to secure the city, which he should. Now the question is, what do you meeple, if anything? Meepling a 2-point road is weak. Meepling the city is a bit dangerous, but then on the other hand, you don't really want to be leaving it lying around. But it's possible that you just play this move without a meeple. Oh, by the way, I mean, I can reveal, so you are already seeing my chat. That's a Brazilian player, Gustavo Arruda here, writing that about the Latvia's participation in the next round. And that's because Brazil is our likely opponent. I didn't see how the games ended, but if Brazil were able to preserve their second place in the group, then we, as the third place finisher, will be playing them in the wildcard round, in the round of 12. So they're eager to schedule the match, I assume. Okay, so now we're talking. Now Tanya says, I'm going to get some compensation. she meeples a road, saying that I'll just get a curve over here, and when you finish this city, I will have a 7-point road. And actually, she's suddenly not doing that bad. Of course, the downside, she had to use the city cap, but the upside is that with the city cap, she's making it quite more difficult for this guy to get his meeple back. There are still tiles, like for example, well, there are still 2 of those remaining. That would be the dream tile for Juliano for sure. There are also 2 of those, which could also go over here. Not to that great of an effect, but it could work. The play with the red meeples loves the principle of 2 cities. Doesn't close this one. Meeples another one. He has all the meeples in the world to afford this. Tanya has 3 extra meeples, but where do you deploy them? I guess now you just take a 3-point road? But then it threatens your connection, right? So you kind of can't. I guess you go over here, maybe? Or over here, trying to break that city. But she won't do this because she's not Japanese, she's Ukrainian. No, she's Japanese after all. We have a Japanese player masquerading as an Ukrainian. The reason I say this is because the Japanese players do these kinds of blocks a lot. So she added 1 point to Juliano just to make it harder for him to continue his city. It's a spectacular move in this position. I don't think it's a good move at all, because you've actually helped your opponent so much. Because now Juliano can use triangles for this city and city caps for this city. And also she made her own road more vulnerable. And also she said no to 2 points. So overall, other than this move, which I maintain is a big mistake, Red has been playing much more precise than his opponent. Whoa, look at this! He wants to now create the threat of finishing the city. It's so interesting. He wants to get 2 triangles here and the city cap here. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to go over here. He's not going to go here. He's going to go here. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It still works. Tanya decided she wants to drop as much compensation as possible. So you see with this move, she drops a farmer, which I rather like. The main purpose of this move is to prevent Juliana from finishing his city with a curvy tile like this and dropping a farmer himself. Even though this farmer will stay at 6 points, this farm is really closed. Given how many meeples she has, it's a wise decision. On the other hand, there's still monasteries in question. There's still monasteries in play. 4 of them. And Tanya has to have a few meeples ready in hand to meeple the monastery when she completes this field's connection. In fact, it's a must. But it also means that she can't play this move over here. That is so smart by Juliano here. You see, the idea is this city is actually super safe. Because if yellow uses a road tile to attack the square, then Juliano immediately blocks this field connection. He now gets a tile to finish his city, so this mistake did not end up costing him too much, just a little bit. But Tanya does get her road and she does get her farmers. So she has adequate compensation. That's actually incredible. After all these losses that yellow has incurred, she's absolutely still in the game. So many 5 versus 0 results. Oh, hi, Pablo. Nice to see you here. Brazil is indeed in the 2nd place from Group B. It's going to be an interesting match. Latvia and Brazil have already played, well, once. And there was another time when the combined Latvian-Lithuanian team was playing against Brazil. Both of these encounters ended 3-2 in my team's favor, but both Brazil and Latvia have a revamped team this year. We have many new players. Brazil has new players, and it's just going to be a very interesting match. So, what does Juliano do here? I mean, I know what he... Oh, yeah, it's an interesting decision, right? So, do you still try to finish the city? And the main decision is whether to go over here and meeple and finish this city and, you know, get 4 points, or to go over here. And actually, I kind of like going over here and meepling the road, because there are many crossroads and you're creating a lot of threats. There's still plenty of triangles remaining. It will just be a more harmonious development. And for this square, you still have 2 of those tiles. So in this case, I think going here is the best move. On the other hand, Tanya is preparing a serious threat. She wants to get a triangle and drop a farmer. Yeah, that's my abstract representation of a farmer. Well, let's call it a Picasso farmer. Okay, here, hands. And then to get 2 farmers in with a monastery. But the sequencing of the tiles doesn't work quite well for her. And she has to go here. She has to equalize. And then just hope that she gets this meeple back. As for Juliano, he goes for the safer move. I would have sure preferred the constant move, which I also think is the better move. But I mean, you can't blame him for playing like this. And now immediately... You know what he's going to do? He's not going to meeple monastery because it's not the best move. Or is it? I don't know. But he could meeple a monastery, but I wouldn't. I know Alexey's saying not meepling a monastery. Why? And that's because he can use this monastery as a blocking tile. Go over here and block 2 meeples on this square. And that would be a complete block because 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 starting tiles. 4 starting tiles that would fit into the square are drawn. And the block has been completed. Tanya will probably now have to meeple this monastery. I mean, she needs to make up for the 10-point deficit on the scoreboard somehow. She has just an endless supply of meeples. What? She says only 3, some of you might say. No, 3 is an endless supply. Rule of thumb. If all other conditions are equal, you need to have the number of tiles divided by 10 meeples in order to finish the game without losing value. So in this case, you can finish the game with 2 meeples quite easily. Also, if she goes over here, I mean, this monastery would be blockable. But you don't care. You do just for the points. That's why she does it. Just for the points. And now Juliano is in an interesting position. I mean, he could just go over here, actually. Probably not the worst idea. Just to finish this stuff with 1 move. But he wants to finish the city instead. But I don't think I quite understand this move, because if he wants to finish the city, then why not use this tile over here instead? There's still 2 of those remaining, but it's only 2. I understand this move, but I would have preferred the block over here in this situation, because, you know, it's not about her getting the meeple back. It's about the ability for her to get meeple the monastery efficiently. Because the thing about blocking monasteries, it's not that it prevents yellow from getting a meeple back. It also prevents her from scoring points. So if... Like, now this monastery could score 9 points. But if Juliano were to place this tile over here, this monastery is capped at 8 points, because this square would not be fillable. And another thing is, there's some scenarios how Tanya gets some curve here, straight line here, and then she meeples a 6-point road upon completion. Sinister move here by Tanya. That was actually brilliant. Look at this. She's adding 2 points to herself, trying to block, and at the same time creating some field connection opportunities. Which field connection opportunities which both sides can use, are benefiting the side that is behind. She cannot take advantage of the field's connection with this tile just yet, but she'll do it at some point. Also, there's this interesting situation. So Juliano did not meeple this field, saying that a 75% chance is not... Oh, wait, it's not even a 75% chance. It's a 50-50 chance. Which is why I'm kind of... Yeah, I'm starting to question this decision and this decision a little bit more. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, I shouldn't be that critical, because like Red made so many good moves, and they're still ahead, and I think they still are playing slightly better than his opponent. So let's just watch. Because I decided to do solo streams today. I figured that my last streams with a special guest, they kind of went wrong. Yeah, the stream with... I don't know, maybe there's some technical reasons, or maybe it's just a coincidence. I just figured that it would be much easier to just do all the talking myself for now. But I will have more special guests in the future. Thanks for giving us more results. So Joseph is saying that France won 4 versus 1 against Greece, which was expected. So France is in the playoffs. Argentina is in the playoffs. Who else is in the playoffs? Is that Taiwan? Wow. Tanya says, let's gamble. Here's the point of her move. She's starting a new city. Okay, so far so good. She also is hoping that this city will belong to her field eventually if she managed to extend her field. And also, she's creating a coin flip for this city. Because look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th vanilla cap? The 5th vanilla cap is in the deck, waiting for whoever draws it to put over here and score 10 points for the city. Which is why, as Juliano, we always go over here, block this opportunity, and maybe even drop a farmer to equalize this guy. Also, in the meantime, he managed to secure the square, and he still has like a 50-50 chance of completing his city. So as Tanya, at some point, maybe she could go over here and meeple this field, saying that if you complete this city, I get into the field. Look. So Juliano now was playing with absolute fire, not equalizing the field, not blocking this opportunity, because he knew that he was going to win the coin flip himself. But you know what he's thinking? He's actually not sure whether he should meeple this, whether he should take these 10 points. Because these 10 points bring this meeple all the way around into the field, potentially. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Why don't we, just for the content, place the city cap like this and place a meeple like this, hoping for the one remaining Dorito, and at the same time pushing this farmer a little bit further. And the idea here is, now as red you have 2 high impact tiles. You have a Dorito, which gives you a bajillion points, and you have the dagger, which gives you a bajillion points. He could actually do this. I have a feeling that he could actually do this. Is that the best move? I don't know. Is that the best move for content? You bet. Okay, he goes for a really good move, which works for the content for sure, and for game-winning chances. Why not close your opponent's rune and drop a farmer? That's beautiful. And also, he actually has now 2 ways into the field. Of course, there's the normal way through a curve or something like this. And there's the painful way, if he goes all the way through here, through continuing his city. In that case, he doesn't even need a tile over here. Surprisingly, despite the fact that Ukraine had their opponents outrated on every single table. And despite the fact that Ukraine, like this game actually really mattered for Ukraine and didn't matter that much for Spain, we are headed towards another 5-0. What's a day in sports today? Both physical sports and mind sports. Thank you, Elias, for posting this. So here are the teams that qualified. We'll get back to the game in a second. Well, Tanya now needs... I mean, what can she do, man? Let's just try find the best move for her. Okay, she can go over here, try to block the field connection, right? I guess that's what she could do. But she could also... Yeah, she could go over here, meeple the city, or even leave this empty, and then hope that she's the one that draws the dagger, and then finishes this city for a gajillion points. Yeah, I start thinking that that's the play. No, she goes for the block. Juliano gets the dagger. Meeples the field, not the road. Okay, sure, field works. And with that, he'll win the game in spectacular fashion. Tanya blocks this meeple permanently. That was a great sequence by her, for realsies. There are no tiles that left that go here. Because remember, we were counting Doritos earlier, we were counting city caps earlier. I'm not even going to recount. I'm positive nothing goes over here. And that was Juliano. All you need to do is close it out. You could go over here to prevent somebody from taking 7 quick points for this road. Or you could go over here, attack this farm. I kind of like the latter move. It certainly makes your opponent hard. It's really hard for your opponent to finish this road now. Yeah. So the playoff matches will be Spain, Taiwan, Germany, France, Japan, Argentina, and Latvia, Brazil. All 4 spectacular games. Spain, Taiwan, Latvia, Brazil, I think are going to be both very close matches. Japan, Argentina, heavy advantage for Japan. Germany, France, heavy advantage for Germany. But France has a revamped new team. Argentina has a revamped new team. So they will not give up without a fight. Anyway, this game. We'll talk about the playoffs a little bit later. And now we just need to see how the Spanish player is going to hold on to their advantage. Or will they? Like, is there a way for yellow back into this game? Not after this move. This move has to hurt a lot. It's not just about the field connection. It's also about freezing this meeple. Because now Tanya cannot get her meeple back, which she will need for the final stage of the game. Because if she were to take this meeple back, she would let red into the field. But here is the... Oh, it's so sneaky. Red, if he wants, he can connect over here. And meeple the monastery, I honestly think it's the best move. There are still some road dents to get his meeple back. There is a city cap, I think. Well, yeah, with a crossroads to get this meeple back. And honestly, like, now all you need to do is, you know, just not do anything super silly. Now I'm trying to think how yellow could come back. I was thinking for some sort of field connection through the outside of this curve, but it's just not gonna work. Because there are no suitable tiles remaining. Juliano completes the field connection, chooses not to meeple the monastery. Because of reasons. Yeah, Tanya now. Tanya could have had a 7-point road, but she blocked this road. I don't think she should have done that because it is in her interest so that there's variance on the board so that she has a comeback route. Now she's probably going to take her meeple back and then try to regroup somehow. Maybe somehow sneak into the big field, but it just looks almost impenetrable. She does get her meeple back. Elias is saying that this farmer was the wrong orientation. I agree. It was a bit better here. He could have gotten some extra value, but it doesn't matter that much. Juliano decides to take a meeple back. What can Tanya do? She needs to find something. Some sort of field connection? Maybe move over here, just take the road. It's very hard to beat Tanya here. Let's just see what he does. I hope she comes up with something creative. I guess one way how yellow can win here is on time. She has just over a minute, but her Spanish opponent has 45 seconds. It's still a reasonable amount of times. But surprisingly, we have seen plenty of losses on time here in this championship. Elias is saying she could try and create a connection for the ninja farmer. So suggesting a move like this, with a field meeple or without, then later hoping for a curve, and then for another curve. Actually, wait a second. It could work. Because there were a sufficient number of curves. Now, as Juliano, all you need to do is just... Actually, there's a way how you could blunder this game. So, if you want to lose on purpose, you go over here, and then you don't meeple anything. And then Tanya goes over here, meeples the field, and takes it over. I mean, if he wants to be in the move of the week video, because I will need to remind you that the latest move of the week video, for a change, wasn't a brilliancy but a blunder, just because it was so juicy. I had to. Let's just see what he does. I think he'll just recount the tiles carefully and simply meeple a 3-point road or something, 3-point fielder or whatever. Whatever. Yep, he goes for the 3-point field. Tanya has a curve, but she cannot utilize productively because she was not listening to Elias, who suggested the comeback idea in the chat. And now, of course, Juliano will go over here and meeple this farm. Or some sort of other farm. Or a 3-point road. Probably the farm is like slightly more technical. It depends on which tile Tanya has in hand. But in case Tanya has a straight line in hand, You have to take this farm, exactly. Well, nah, a bit of an... No, it's not an imprecision. It actually didn't matter. Because she has a dagger tile, she has a 5-point move. And she's just gonna play it. She does play it. She meeples a 5-point city. Does her best to minimize the score difference, but it's just not going to be enough. Red here, I think, managed to play one of his strongest games in the entire tournament. He was more precise in the opening. It does feel like he was able to take advantage of his opponent's missteps. And then Tanya had some really nice ideas, especially with this, trying to bring multiple farmers, trying to accomplish a block. It was a little bit too late. Wait, so Juliano wins, but why is it only +2? What did we miss? I mean, what did I miss? I mean, I'm not gonna throw y'all under the bus. I guess these little ruins add up. Okay, yeah, as you can see in the chats. Wait for the anthem. Okay, I will wait for the anthem a minute or so. But yeah, I guess this monastery and this monastery and this monastery and these two cities, they added up for quite a bit. So, wow, so Tanya actually was still in it all the time. Certainly a respectable performance for a first-timer. She did manage to win the first game, but the comeback for Juliana was quite spectacular. Well, I'm glad we chose to watch this game. I'm glad we chose to stream this match. I'm super relieved that Spain won. It was so unlikely that they would win pretty much 5-0, right? I mean, eventually, probably... Fan Alexey will get the technical loss. And look at this, 4 tied duels. Spain has 4. Ukraine has 0. I'm going to leave it at 4-0. Probably it's going to be a 5-0. Just crazy day in sports. Anyway. Right, hi Juliano. Congrats for your win. And yes, congrats to Team Spain. As you can see, it's 4-0 or at least 5-0. Does anybody know any more details about Fan Alexey? Like, is he okay? Are they going to give the technical win to Tocanero? Are they going to replay the match at some point? We would appreciate the insights. But yes. So what we're going to do now is to do a couple of technical preparations. Oh man, I have so many messages. Some of them are with moves of the week. Some of them are with new subscribers, which is super nice. By the way, in case you're here for the first time, please do subscribe. Of course, meeple the like button if you're rooting for Team Spain. Also, if you're rooting for Team Ukraine, sympathy like for Team Ukraine. The like button is important for the algorithm. Alrighty, I will also leave you with a tournament table. No, I will leave you with this final position. That's the sort of most spectacular bit. Alright. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. I need to do this for a variety of reasons. Oh, come on, man. Oh, yeah, there we go, there we go. I'll be right back. So, just need to check how the camera is doing. Yeah, close enough. It does seem that there are some delays. Not sure why in the feed. Wait a second. Can you just confirm that you hear everything all right? Basically, yeah. Just one yes in the chat. Elias is saying that isn't the Spain the country with the anthem with no lyrics? No, this is not true. There absolutely are lyrics. I mean, I'm not going to sing them. But anyway, doesn't matter. We have things set up. Congratulations to Team Spain. And now all rise for the national anthem of Spain. Alrighty, well, congrats to Team Spain. Hopefully you were able to hear it all right. Nico saying he's lip syncing. Oh, Hugo saying huge delay. Yep, sorry, but I don't know why. Like, it didn't happen before in previous anthems, but this wouldn't be Alexey Carcassonne's channel if there weren't technical issues all the time. I mean, hopefully you were able to put this together. Hopefully the sound came out all right. Oh, the piano has delay? But that's so weird. Like, it shouldn't be happening. Yeah, I can actually still see myself playing. It's so interesting. So basically something happened. Like, obviously I do the preparations before the stream and I need an extra camera for that. But then the camera shut off during the stream for some reason. So I had to set it up again. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, I'm still in the E flat major part. So, what in the fact? So, fun fact about the anthem of Spain. It's actually it's super cool because it's changes keys throughout, and essentially it works. It has a part in B flat major, and then another part in E flat major, which is the same part but just in a different key, and then the same part in a B flat major again. So it's kind of quite an unconventional way. I mean, those of you who are into music will understand this. And also, like, I mean, there's so many interesting anthems as I learned throughout the championship. Like the Romanian anthem, that's like the called the Marseillaise of the Balkans. The Czech anthem, as I said, is super interesting. The Ukrainian one starts with in the major key and ends in the minor key. But of course, the Spanish anthem is the one that we care about. The Spanish anthem today is also in part the Latvian anthem, because Spain helped us to qualify. We'll remember that. We'll remember that. Craft Giraffe says, did you have piano lessons? Did you learn it by yourself? I mean, I learned the anthem by yourself. I learned the instrument through a decade of lessons. Also, I have a master's degree in music. Yeah, I like not as a pianist though, as a composer. And like I teach piano as well to kids and adults. Alrighty. Also, so many messages in the chat. Oh wait, Carlos is saying that you're right, Elias. But I don't get it. So like, does the anthem has lyric or not? I know that I don't remember them, but I think it's supposed to start with Gloria España and then something. And then I remember that like it was sung quite fast as well, with like a syllable for every note. Well, anyway, now that the lip syncing is over, so you saw the thing. It was actual playing, as you can see. Oh, so weird. I need to sort another technical issue out, but it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna look at a few things just to do a bit of a recap of the week. First of all, the tournament table. I think everything is pretty much already clear, but in case somebody's just joining, Spain will almost achieve first place. There will be just one duel point behind China. Just one duel point behind China. They will still be second. Latvia will be third. Ukraine will be fourth. Poland will be fifth, regardless of Team UK's results, I think. Actually, I'm not sure. How did UK play against Hungary? Because Hungary also has something in it, right? So Hungary could leapfrog to seventh, and then they wouldn't be last anymore. That would be big for them. In fact, Hungary could even go all the way to sixth if they were to defeat the United Kingdom. These things matter. It's not just about who qualifies, because it's the position in your group contributes to overall championship standings, and overall championship standings, in addition to pride and honor, they determine the groups for the next year. So the better you place this year, the better seed you are next year, the slightly easier games you get for next year's World Championship. Okay, so UK won 3 versus 2. Well, sorry to hear that, Josef, but still, I'm glad that Hungary was able to get at least one win. Certainly a rough tournament for them, but the team is actually much stronger than their tournament results suggest. But also, like, Group B was so hard. Like, there's not a single team that I'd call weak. And let's say, for example, had Hungary qualified, had Hungary been amongst these 3 teams, I wouldn't be surprised particular. Catalonia, same thing. UK, same thing. Poland also. I mean, Poland managed to defeat the teams that's actually placed above Poland, including Latvia and China. So yeah, it was tough. And Spain managed to score second and almost win the entire group. Righty, the other ones, yeah, as you see, Romania, Germany, Japan. So the 3 favorites clinching it. Czechia, Mexico came kind of close, but still were just not able to pull it off. RCP, Brazil, Taiwan in Group C. Also, I'd say the 3 favorites, even though rating-wise, Italy was doing great. Colombia, oh, Colombia almost made it. 2 games, unbelievable. So Taiwan lost today. So this was like the most clutch finish. Certainly my South American viewers will be sad today, but my East Asian viewers will be happy. And then here also, United States coming quite close after the victory against Chile in the final round, but France and Argentina just held on to the advantage. Oh, they haven't even like played all their games yet, so. Oh, wait, France won. France was playing against whom? Against Greece. And Argentina was playing against Portugal. And I think Argentina won, is that right? 4 versus 1. Which means that they are in second and France is in third. Yeah, so these are the top 12 teams you can enjoy. I'm not sure if the matches are going to continue next week or the week after that. The schedule has not yet been published. In all honesty, I could use a break because there are plenty of Carcassonne uploads that I'd like to keep doing. But it's okay. If the championship continues next week as normal, then we'll be here. I'll try to stream as many of these matches as possible. But in addition to this, well, I'm going to put back the classifications. Oh, there's a playoffs tab. Thank you. Okay, calendar. I don't think I had dates, though. Playoff. Yeah, you see, it doesn't have dates yet. We can just see the grid, like who's playing whom. But that's about it. So, Fantasy Carcassonne. We have another competition going on, right? Obviously, I wasn't able to update all the results. The only thing that was able to update is everything that happened after Latvia Poland. But it was just Alexey LV and MTU who were in somebody's fantasy teams, so nothing much has changed. Well, Craft Giraffe has reclaimed his lead, even though it was Matt who was leading yesterday. But the Chinese team's win certainly has helped. But you see, now the competition is closer. Bogdan Kurkan, who bet on his brother. Oh, he's going to drop a bit after Mars lost. But actually, no, everybody bet on Mars. Everybody going to drop, which means that the rest of you will catch up. Yeah, I'll do another update early next week. Now I'm just going to scroll through the standings so that you can see where you're at. Alexey's pick doing sort of kind of fine. That was Mars 15, Medusa Hope, Krishna, and GDLK and Dr. Taihan. So actually, all of these players either lost their duel or didn't play at all. Mars, Medusa Hope, GDLK lost. Krishna and Dr. Taihan didn't play at all. And of course, the Collective Wisdom tab is not doing that great. And neither are the second and the third Collective Wisdom picks. You can actually see them all here. I've arranged the columns according to which players were picked the most. And you can also see the score of each of these players. So the Japanese players contributes a modest 2 points to everybody who chose them. I contribute 0 points with 1 extra game, so I'm contributing something, okay? It's not nothing. And then, of course, Mikhail, Ruz, Mars, Krishna, Viv, the big winners. And the biggest winner of them all, Mana Rory, as we mentioned. Where's he? Where's he? Where's he? Oh yeah, he has to be somewhere here. Where is he? Oh yeah, there he is, there he is. Because he was only picked by one person. Who is now going to cash these fantasy points. Oh, that's a great question, Raf. Did every team let all the players play? I'm going to first of all just remove this from the screen because you probably already saw everything. And I'm going to answer. I think the answer to that is yes, because it's something that I was checking for myself in Group B. But yeah, there's this championship rule is that you have to line up at least 8 of your team's players to at least one match. I mean, wait. You have to line up. Yeah, I think grammatically that makes sense. You don't have to line up all of your players in case if you have 9 or 10, but just at least 8. And if you fail to do that, then you lose a match essentially. You don't lose a match, but you get a technical loss. So I don't think it is the case for any of the teams, but it's certainly something that the organizers should check. Alrighty, then I think it's going to be all for today. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions or anything, do mention them in the next 30 seconds. We did all the updates. We had a spectacular match today. I've had an absolute nerve-wracking day, so now I'll go happily to rest. Yeah, not much left to say. Nicholas Victor saying Biko Becker has not played a game. First of all, he's the 9th player. And second, he has played the game technically because he was a no-show for our today's match. So he was already lined up. And it counts. But even if he were not to play, he was our 9th player. So we already had 8 players. So it's all good. But also, interestingly, if Latvia were to get this penalty, Latvia would still qualify. Because Ukraine lost today, Ukraine is on 3 victories. And Latvia also lost today, but Latvia still has the better tiebreakers anyway. Because obviously, Latvia lost 5-0, Ukraine lost 4-0, probably 5-0. And then we both lost a lot in tiebreakers, but relatively to each other, Latvia sort of would still be ahead. Although that would be quite spectacular to qualify with just 3 wins out of 7. That would be pretty cool. But no, it's going to be 4 wins out of 7. Nico is saying, will he have to go in the penalty box? Well, so apparently Belgians do know about hockey then. Hopefully no penalties for us. Yeah, that's it. I hope you all have a great time of day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm gonna see you soon.